The fight for net neutrality, the Division gets an update, people still play that game, and what to buy. We'll get into it in the breakdown. What is going on, people? It's your boy DaRealMastalin coming at you with your daily dose. And as always, before we get started, hit me with them three things. First one, express your right to hit that like button. You have the right to hit that like button. Subscribe here for more. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every single time I drop a video. Now let's break it down. And first up to bat is net neutrality. And the reason I highlight net neutrality today is because yesterday we had the Hear Your Voice movement, which was basically a bunch of companies, Netflix and Facebook and Google and Twitter, Reddit. These big companies were speaking out about net neutrality and why the new proposed bill by Trump and his appointee, who happened to be a ex-Comcast lawyer, go figure, want to end net neutrality. And basically what net neutrality is it allows us as the consumers to be protected from these companies throttling our internet. And it already happens to this day, even though it's illegal. I guarantee you that everybody has experienced the point where your bill comes up and they send you an email or a text message or something and say your bill is due, and then you get home and you're like, why is my internet running so slow? That's because they throttled you. And right now they're doing it on the sly. If this new bill passes, it will allow them to do it openly, and it'll allow them to do it per website. So let's say you trying to Netflix and chill, and your Netflix all of a sudden ain't working or is going real slow. You out here, trying to get your chill on, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But you can't because Netflix is throttled. That's because net neutrality right now protects you, so that can't happen. But let's say this bill goes into effect, and now if Comcast decides they want to charge Netflix extra, they can do that. If they decide that they want to charge you extra for getting Netflix quicker, they can do that. That's what net neutrality does. Net neutrality protects you as the consumer. So even though yesterday was the day you speak your voice and all these companies were chiming in, this is an ongoing thing, and the vote hasn't happened yet. But I'm gonna leave a link down in the description, and I'm gonna flash it on the screen. I want everybody who watches this video, share this video, share the link. Even if you don't share the video, share the link so that everybody your mama and them, your cousins, your baby mama, whatever it may be, share this link so that they all go click on this website. This is the FCC page. You just go there, write up click the little express button and say, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. Enough of us have to speak out in order to stop this, because it's basically just rich dudes trying to make each other rich and not worry about us, the normal everyday consumer. Because I don't know what y'all think, but I ain't over here getting bread like that. I ain't got it. I'm trying to keep my bills in order, and I mean, so I want to make sure that if I'm trying to get my Netflix and chill on, that I'm able to do it without worry that they gonna throttle me. Next up, I'm gonna use this segment to pretty much go through a bunch of little news that is out there right now, and I'm gonna start off with the Division. The Division is getting a console PTS. And for those of you who don't know what the PTS is, that's the public test server where they give you all the test builds. You say whether or not you like them, you give them feedback, but it's all a test environment. It's just one big beta, and it's finally gonna be on console. It'll be dodgy to see how this is curated, but the only difference between the PTS on PC and the PTS on console is that there's only gonna be 10,000 people allowed in the PTS on consoles, because it's such a small curated amount of people. I think they'll be able to better contain anything that's happening on console, because on PC they can just push out an update and it'll fix something that's broken. I don't know how well that's going to work on console. I feel like they just know that if it's a small contained group, that'll be better. And in order to qualify for the PTS on console, you have to be active in the game. You have to have played in the last 30 days and be level 30. And I don't know, if you are trying to get back into the division, get into the public test server is not going to help you. The global events not going to help you. Like I was hardcore into the division. Me, my wife played it, me and my boys played it, but the problem I had with the division was that they basically abandoned their game. They told us when they showed the year 2 trailer, the sizzle reel, whatever, that basically it was going to be a bunch of little things and nothing big was coming to the game, and that kind of threw me for a loop. That deterred me all the way off. Like I went from, I still play this game, still grind out these things for this loot and, you know, perfect my build and all that, to I'm just done, because if y'all done, I'm done. But if you still play the division, try to get on this PTS. Like I said, you need to be at least level 30 and have played the game in the last 30 days. They're still going to go through like a very finite amount of people to pick who they think is best, but maybe you'll get picked. Who knows? Next up, Friday the 13th dev talks about the single player mode that is still supposedly coming, but they don't have a date. To this day, right now, they still don't have a date as to when it's supposed to come, but they said since there was so many people who bought the game, regardless of the fact that it had a whole bunch of problems at the beginning, it's still not the greatest, but the connection problems, especially at the beginning, were horrendous. Like, you couldn't even get into a private match. If you tried to get into a public match, it would just stay connecting for literally hours and you couldn't connect to it. They fixed some of that. They're still having some memory issues on Xbox One, which they haven't exactly knocked out, but they're trying. I'll say that they're at least trying. But they said a single player version or single player mode is still coming. They haven't exactly said what that mode is going to be. I'm imagining that you're mostly going to play as Jason and you're going to play out that whole come to camp and take out all the NPCs slowly. You're going to play out, you know, one of those iconic Friday the 13th stories. Don't quote me on that because I don't know, but that's my general gist of what's going to happen. Next up, we got the Nintendo Switch. It's finally getting a video app. The only problem is that it's Nico Nico and it's only in Japan. It's not getting Netflix or YouTube or Amazon or anything like that, at least not yet. And also, like I said, it's only in Japan because mostly Japan is where a good portion of the Switches were sold, because Japan is heavily into handhelds. They're heavily into portable gaming, so that is probably going to be their primary focus. They're going to push out everything in Japan slowly, and then it'll hit the West months or a few months after that. They need to get YouTube, Amazon, Netflix, like the basic stuff, BBC for the iPlayer for UK and stuff. They need to get the basics down so this can be a thing going forward, because the Nintendo Switch, it's dope as a portable, but the fact that it doesn't have any of these basic portable visual apps is a little disconcerting. Next up, we got Hitman, the final elusive target. The 26th and final elusive target for season 1 will launch this Friday, and you'll have 10 days to kill him. He's called the Entertainer, and it'll be set in Marrakesh. You kill Mr. Giggles and retrieve his client list or whatever. And these elusive targets, they're cool because they are like little offshoot events, and they get you back into the game, even if it's for a quick, 1 or 2 sessions and you just knock this out. Hitman as a whole, wasn't a fan of how they rolled it out, but the game is solid, and especially getting the whole season, like, it's been on sale multiple times. You get the whole season 1 for $10-15 at different various points. So if you want, you can wait till it goes back on sale. I don't think it's on sale anywhere now, but I personally like the package complete, and with the IO Interactive now being independent, I want to see how much they're going to support this game and where they're going to get the funding to support season 2, because like I said, this is the final elusive target for season 1. I want to see how they're going to fund season 2. And finally, what to buy. And this is a segment where I go weekly and I just go through the curated list of things I think are worth a purchase on each of the individual platforms. You can choose to ignore my advice. You can buy everything on the list. It's up to you. First up, Humble Bundle is having a Capcom sale where you get Strider, Umbrella Corps, DMC, and 10% off the Humble monthly subscription, all for $1. If you pay higher than the average, which is $7.82, you get the Umbrella Corps Deluxe Edition upgrade pack, Dead Rising 2 Off the Record, Resident Evil HD, Resident Evil 0 HD, Resident Evil 6, and you get 40% off Resident Evil 7, 50% off Dead Rising 4, and 50% off Street Fighter 5. If you pay $12, you get Dead Rising 2, the entire base game, and Dead Rising 3 Apocalypse Edition. I think Dead Rising 3 was like 11 something on the Steam sale like last week. So for $12, you get 8 games plus discounts on various other things if you decide you want to buy those too. Like, this is a dope little Capcom bundle. There's some gems in there like Devil May Cry for $1. Devil May Cry and Strider alone make this all worth it. Dead Rising 3, also very dope. If you haven't, get Resident Evil HD. It's the best Resident Evil that's not numbered 4. In my opinion, I like the original better. It provided more jump scares, more memorable to me. 4 was a better overall game as far as gameplay wise, just because it had a better action section. But the original Resident Evil is where it's at. So Resident Evil HD, like I said, $7.82, perfect. The only real thing I see on PlayStation is Darksiders Fury Collection. That's 50% off. So you get that for $19.99. Everything else in here is basically like War Thunder and Warframe, like those little like gem packs. Maybe they got Dead or Alive 5 off 30 fighters. They have that for $18.59, I think. Other than that, most of this is just like the gold for this game, Warframe or Smite or any of that. I'm not really with that. Also, Humble Monthly. Humble Monthly is dope. If you pay the $12, you get, for the early access right now, you get NBA 2K17 and Pillars of Eternity. So if you pay the subscription to early access games for this month are NBA 2K17 and Pillars of Eternity, the way Humble Monthly works is they give you 1 to 2 early access games at the beginning of the month, right after the last month's pack drops, and then the first Friday of the next month, so the first Friday of August, you'll get more games, a larger pack, but it's all random. So sometimes they're outstanding, sometimes there's like some hidden gems in there, but generally they're all fairly decent games, and they're all Steam codes, so you can just put them into Steam, add them to your library. As far as the Xbox is concerned, you got Shadow of Mordor for $4. Go buy that. If you have not played it, it is a fantastic game. Also, they just put out the Nemesis Forge system, which lets you import your best nemesis and best ally into Shadow of War. So if you want to get into Shadow of War, if it interests you at all, just go out and get Shadow of Mordor. Like I said, it's $4 on Xbox right now. If you missed out on it being $4 on Steam, that was a bad idea. But if you got an Xbox One, it's $4 right now. Go cop that. I've already put at least one person onto it. He's digging it. I encourage y'all to go do it too. That's all the news I got for today. If you got any questions about anything net neutrality, like I said, check that out in the description. Go and sign up. Sign the petitions. Sign everything you can that says no to this newfound net neutrality. And look through the various sales across the interwebs. See what you want to buy. You know, ain't nothing like a good cheap game. Like you get you a game and buy you some cheap games. I buy a lot of stuff, like a lot of games, and I buy a lot of them when they first come out. And it's not, you support the industry, but even buying these games when they're on sale, you're still supporting directly the developers. So you're still letting them know that you want a new version of their game. You're in supporting that dream that they had of making this. So we all want this gaming thing to get better. We want this tech that we use to get better. So keep supporting it. It'll keep getting better. Follow your boy on Twitter at DaRealMastalin. mixer.com/DaRealMastalin. I'm usually playing some PUBG right about now, so hop on there if you trying to get shot in the face, you know what I mean? Get on there with me. As always, this been your boy Mastalin. Always give me the real. Love you like some play cousins. I'm out.